interview with Al-Ba'ath Daily, President al-Assad says the party has been targeted and subject to attempts to wipe out its history. President al-Assad affirms that combating corruption is one of the cornerstones of the party's return to its huge masses. The UN accepts Syria's invitation for talks on the mechanisms required for cooperation in the investigation to use chemical weapons. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Irado Krikorian with the news in English. In an interview with Al-Ba'ath Daily, President Bashar al-Assad said, "The Pan-Arab project has always been targeted." The talk that the toiling masses considered the largest rank and file of the party were the ones who turned against it contravenes reality, the President pointed out, as those who defend the homeland at present belong to this social bracket of the toiling masses. The President added that the conflict at present is between the ignorant and non-ignorant, the patriotic and the stooge, the extremist and the moderate. The President said the problem lies in the absence of balance between the party and the authority. The party delineates the public policies, whereas the authority is concerned with the daily details. Combating corruption represents an important cornerstone in the party's return to its large rank and file and huge masses, the President added. President al-Assad called for practicing criticism and correcting mistakes because criticizing the establishment, the government or the state is a step towards developing its performance. President al-Assad said, "Every age has its circumstances and mottos. In the 50s, Arab unity meant unifying all the Arab homeland in one state. However, with the consecration of regionalism, this concept has become unrealizable in the short run. Arab economy, for example, is connected with the mood of Arab rulers." President al-Assad stressed that there is big concern over the Pan-Arab project as it is the only one that encounters the reactionary Zionist NATO project and is always the target of assault. However, there is hope that Arab identity has started to regain its correct position. The Ba'ath Arab Regional Party Secretary General has corrected rumors that Article 8 was the one that kept the party in authority, drawing attention to the fact that the party was already in power 10 years before this article was endorsed. The previous constitution, which included this article, the President said, did not prevent any political forces from running the parliamentary elections and enjoying the majority that enables it to amend the constitution. President al-Assad affirmed that the real role of the party's Central Committee is to periodically bring to account the party's leadership, a thing that never happened in past years. His Excellency stressed the importance of considering the objectives and principles of the party according to current circumstances. President al-Assad pointed out that political Islam means those parties that take advantage of religion in order to serve their own narrow sectarian objectives, like the Muslim Brotherhood, and which consider you, when you stand against it politically, as standing against God religiously. President al-Assad concluded his interview saying that there have been, right from the start, attempts to wipe out the party's history, to hold it responsible for all that is happening, and to accuse it of being destructive to the country despite the achievements it has accomplished, whether in terms of the national army, the political status, and the confrontation of the forces of darkness over a period of more than 50 years. Specialized authorities discovered in the town of Al-Qaryatain and the farms surrounding it in Homs's countryside a number of missiles, computers and satellite sets. News sources reported that combing operations in the area also found a warehouse for stolen medicines and medical equipment, in addition to fertilizers, explosive devices and stolen cars. Army units continued to chase armed terrorist groups in Lattakia countryside, targeting al-Nusra members in El-Kabir village and Dahiya tower and Jubb al-Ahmar, killing and wounding dozens of them. Among the terrorists killed were Abd al-Salam al-Hafiz, Ubada al-Tillawi, Abd al-Mu'min al-Arif, Uthman Hajjiko and Luqman al-Umari. A number of cars equipped with Doshka machine guns were destroyed. Units of the armed forces carried out operations against terrorists in Daraa and its countryside, seizing weapons, ammunition and foreign currencies, in addition to killing several terrorists. The army units destroyed terrorist dens and gatherings in Daraa al-Balad, Al-Mzarib, Jilin, Al-Nasiriyya, Sahm al-Jolan, Jamla and Tafas, along with the weapons and ammunition inside them, killing and injuring several terrorists, including Nabil Talal al-Amarin. Another army unit seized weapons, ammunition and large sums of money in foreign currencies in Nawa city. Other army units repelled an armed terrorist group which was attempting to attack a military checkpoint in Daraa city, killing all its members. The UN has declared acceptance of the invitation extended by Syria to the chairman of the UN Investigation Committee into the use of chemical weapons in Syria, Aki Celestrum, and the UN representative for disarmament affairs, Angela Kane, to visit Syria to end consultations on the mechanisms of cooperation. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said the documents and reports presented by Moscow to the UN on the opposition's use of chemical weapons in Syria are serious and will provide answers to many questions. He affirmed that the results of the investigations conducted by his country into this subject indicate that the sarin bombs used in Khan al-Assal were made in areas under the control of opposition groups. The armed terrorist groups in Syria had fired a missile carrying chemical weapons at Khan al-Assal in Aleppo on the 19th of last March, killing 25 civilians and injuring more than 100 others. In Egypt, the newly appointed Prime Minister Hazem al-Bablawi announced that an interim government will be formed within a week, stressing that technocrats will be on top of this list. The Muslim Brotherhood, represented by the Freedom and Justice Party, rejected a request to take part in the government as its leaders continued to threaten to use violence following the ouster of Morsi. For his part, the spokesman for the Egyptian army said that gunmen targeted the car of the General Commander of the Second Army, Colonel Ahmad Wasfi, in Sheikh Zweid, north of Sinai. Meanwhile, 2 civilians were killed and 6 soldiers were wounded following an attack on a security checkpoint near Al Arish airport. 11 Iraqis were killed, including an army officer, and 31 others wounded during sporadic attacks west of Iraq. Meanwhile, Iraqi army continued to chase Al-Qaeda terrorists, dismantling 2 secret dens for collecting donations, and arrested its leader in Kirkuk, Yusuf Khadir. The Iraqi army also killed the military official responsible for several terrorist operations, Muhammad Daham al-Sheikho, and arrested 39 others. Back to our local news, a touristic festival was held in the Syrian city of Tartus on the Syrian coast under the title A Message of a Homeland. The festival included touristic, cultural, media and artistic activities reflecting the Syrians' resolve to return to normal life despite the crisis and its repercussions. On the sideline of the festival, the work team at the External Information Department visited Arwad Island, one of the oldest inhabited sites in the Mediterranean basin. The island is famous for manufacturing fishing boats, wooden artifacts and other beautiful industries. The Ministry of Social Affairs signed a cooperation agreement with the National Establishment for the Development of Women. The Minister of Social Affairs, Kinda Ashamat, stressed during the signing ceremony the importance of developing women's role in society during these exceptional circumstances in Syria. Ashamat pointed out that a new approach will be adopted to enhance the role of women in the economic, cultural and social fields, especially protecting displaced families and securing their daily needs. The Minister of Electricity discussed with the Chinese ambassador the ways that enhance the cooperation between the two countries in field of power, investment and projects between the two sides. The minister also pointed to the need of completing the contracts and the memorandums of understanding between the Minister of Electricity and some Chinese companies, in addition to supplying Syria with the basic electric equipment, asserting that the ministry plans to overcome the obstacles that prevent activating these contracts. The Ministry of Industry called on its directorates and the industrial cities to supervise the work of industrial establishments, specifically food companies, in addition to taking samples from the produced materials to ensure food safety in accordance with the Syrian standards and taking strict measures against those establishments which violate the rules. The Jewelers' Assembly set the price of 21-carat gold at 9,500 Syrian pounds per gram, declining 500 Syrian pounds since yesterday, while the Rashadi golden coin was set at 72,000 Syrian pounds and the English coin was set at 77,500 Syrian pounds. The American crude oil rose from the highest level in 15 months after U.S. stockpiles fell for a second week. Brent's premium to U.S. shrank to the narrowest since November 2010. European stocks advanced after Federal Reserve Chairman said that the U.S. will continue to need stimulus measures, while most Japanese shares fell, with the Topix index dropping for a second day. The US dollar fell to the lowest in almost 3 weeks against the euro after the Federal Reserve Chairman said that the inflation and unemployment rates show the economy still requires monetary stimulus. The yen strengthened for a second day against the US dollar after the Bank of Japan boosted its view of the economy at a policy meeting and refrained from adding monetary stimulus. With this, we end our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Have a beautiful weekend.